Start the recording. This is the first take. Okay. This is what it's all been working up to now. I want to talk about my life in VRChat. Was back in around 2017 during the end of the Knuckles era when it was dying off. Admittedly, I wanted to see the meme up close, so that was one of the reasons I actually got in there. The reasons I joined in the first place is because I wanted to see the Knuckles meme up close. All of that shit, yeah. So I got in, and it was a mess. It was chaotic. I had no idea what I was going to see as I just jumped around worlds. And yeah. I have no words for how things started out. Eventually I kind of started to feel a little bit of a social need that I wasn't expecting to feel. And because sometimes I could just get in and just wallflower comfortably, and it was kind of nice. I just started wanting to do that a little bit more. And so at least once a weekend, probably was more than that. I don't remember very well though, it's a while ago. I jump in, and most of the time it would be spent hopping between the Great Pug and Gaia Night until I found an instance that I was comfortable in. Most of the time it would be Gaia Night. Sometimes the Great Pug would win, but most of the time, Gaia Night wins. It has the best ambiance, the best vibe. It feels good. It's nice here. The audio track playing feels good. Sometimes there'd be someone just somewhere on top of one of these hills, just blasting an animation full of particles and just ruining it for everyone else. It's like, oh, look at this thing I made. I don't want to look at this thing you made. You're screwing my computer up. It's but most of the time, it would be fine. Actually kind of cool. I remember running into finally starting to get sort of a friend group together out of nothing, and there was one group in particular that just kind of formed together. Let's see if I can. How many names can I even remember? Oh, let's see. As Kaylin, Buffalo, Chloe, Struz, Sparta. Location, Excurtus? Did he show up later though? Way later maybe, I think. Oh boy, there are a lot of people. There's a lot of people. Oh, there was also Blake. Question. Oh, there's too many to remember. Boogie, of course. I can't forget Boogie. My hand is going through my face. Wow. Nice. Yeah. Let's see. Early on, I also didn't really have any avatars until, let's see, the first one, I have to re-upload it at some point for some reason. Hopefully this doesn't break. My very first avatar that I uploaded, just to have something that I could have that I'd feel comfortable in, instead of having to go and pick up a public avatar over and over again, because you wouldn't save public avatars. You had to remember the world that the public avatar was in, go to the world, find wherever it was in the world, grab it then, and it stays until you log out. I miss a specific avatar that was where you had to go. It was in a winter world of some kind where you had to fall under the world, and it was the original derpy girl, the original one, not all those copies that came after her. No, the original one. I could never. I want to find that avatar again. I really. Anyway, I'm going off topic. Anyway, let's go back to There's no Visemes or anything. I have still yet to go through Steins Gate. I've started Steins Gate. I've microwaved a banana. Don't worry, I've microwaved some bananas, don't worry. But I have not, I do need to get through Steins Gate. But anyway, I need to switch back to a different avatar because this one has, I can keep this on, but I was in desktop mode though. And so it was just desktoping, kind of like not much animation going on. And anyway, yeah, I'll keep this on for a bit. Yeah. Oh why is my foot twisted? I need to T-pose on you. That's better. That's better. That's better. You know, I'm surprised that all the stuff that wasn't uploaded for full body actually kind of works nowadays. Like eventually they got it together. It's pretty cool. Anyways. So yeah, got a nice little group together. Played some 100% orange juice. Lots of 100% orange juice. I got my own addiction to 100% orange juice. I need more vitamin C, please. I'm supposed to be talking about VRChat. They also got me into Ruby as well. Rest in peace, Monty. Rest in peace, Ruby being worth watching. But we liked it at the time. Let's see. Come on. Come on, I know you have that in there. I ended up having this avatar. Oh my gosh, I'm tall. Oh my gosh, I'm tall. Oh my gosh, I'm tall. Whoa. Oh, I'm floating above the crowd. Whoa. I'm tall right now. Oh, the tracking on this, I guess, doesn't work too well, maybe. Maybe. Anyways. Let's go back here. That's better. I'm not touching the ground again. It was good. Getting to VRChat. I caused some problems with my personality, but generally I seemed to be kind of accepted. It was nice. I had a place to go. I could drink and actually not feel bad. I wasn't at the point in my life where I was able to do that yet. Feel bad while drinking. I was still in the part where I only drank when I felt good to enhance the good feeling. Don't fast forward. Yeah. Yeah. We try out different worlds and I just watch people just being silly. And I remember, because I was a deskie, I remember people would occasionally some people would just come up and head pat me. And some people I knew were kind of adorable, so I had this urge. I wanted to also just give head pats, give some head pats, give them out as well. I want to return the favor. Okay. So, eventually, after saving up, I emptied my bank account and got myself an Oculus, and I finally had hands. So I could finally give people some lovely little head pats. It's been so long and I don't do VRChat anymore, so I don't feel so confident with my head patting capabilities anymore. Oh no. But it's just kind of like you gotta think about like you're petting a cat. But instead there's an avatar's head there. And you just gotta be gentle, but not too gentle. You gotta be firm and gentle at the same time and do the movements just right, kind of thing. Not like some people are like, "Oh, do you want some head pats?" And they're like, "Boom, boom, boom!" And like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I thought you like head pats." Like, "Get the fuck away from me! What are you doing? Don't do that!" Like literally, pat, no. That you are a criminal. Get out. Get out. Never VR again. Go back to desktop and mouse, okay? Bye. Oh, jeez. So, yeah. And a thing attached to the whole VR thing where I finally got hands is one of the people I met in Gaia Night. I remember it still. Was in like he was in like a gothic Miko avatar. He was a mute. Very strange, lots of body language going on, but completely mute. And he had this habit of going up to people with his finger, and he just shove his finger in your mouth, in your avatar's mouth, and you just start doing this. Like that. It just became his thing, and we just accepted that that's what he did. He's just gonna come up to you and just go right in your mouth with that index finger, right in your mouth. Sometimes other people would join in with him and just be like, we just accepted him. Talking to him in DMs was kind of fun as well. Turns out he was a enjoyer of yanderes. It was the style at the time back then as well for it to actually be back when yanderes were cool. What before? And a certain person who shall not be named happened went too far off the cliff. Yeah. So anyway, using what I've just explained to you, one of the things that I did with VR is I didn't have legs yet, but only arms. I got into the world. I knew he was in the world, so I did a nice neutral pose, like, you know. I'm like, yeah, I'm still in desktop, okay? Yeah? Yeah, I'm still in desktop, you see? See? Go up to him. Oops, don't actually move around. You'll mess with the camera. And then suddenly, I spring out of it and I just ram my finger down his throat. Just out of nowhere. just to let him know, hey, I've got VR too now. Oh. Yeah, that was good times, very good times. But that turned into a kind of some really strange situations where he wouldn't back down though. He'd still keep doing it to people. And so, but then every time he came up to me to do it, I just do it right back to him like, what you got? Yeah. So, getting in VR joining with the cat club, a little bit of drinking, lots of shenanigans and laughs, trying to wrangle that guy who from putting his finger in everyone's mouth. Yeah. Where was I going? Where was I supposed to go with this after this part? Because I spent like a whole hour trying to order everything in my head. Okay? Yeah. So this was during the Ruby arc, wasn't it? Oh, that's a DM. Hold on. What's a DM? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, where was I going with this? It was the era when I was playing Neptunia games and Senran Kagura as well. And I was living there, in that place. I felt like something was wrong with the group, but there's no time for that because some things happened IRL and I ended up becoming legally homeless. So the only things I had at the time that were mine really were my computer and clothes. So a homeless person with VR can't make this shit up. Dragging it into a hotel room, the whole computer, setting it up in a hotel room, then taking it to the B&B until I can get myself set up with a new place to live and trying not to go bankrupt in the process. Oh boy, that was an error. Yeah. Also, a little anecdote from that time. Another friend group, the Walks, a certain Walks. And he had some friends that I'd joined sometimes for more shenanigans and good times, the weekends and stuff. Just being dumb VR people. And I was in the hotel. Yeah, I was in the hotel. And I was exhausted from everything. Finally, just there. And I decided, you know what? Because I set it up and the edge of the bed was in the space a little bit, so I could get on the bed and just lay on the bed for a bit if I needed to, just recover a little bit. And one of the people in the group was doing was memeing on trash YouTube personalities, like specifically Logan Paul kind of thing. He was doing an impersonation of him, and he just comes up to me while I'm just like on my side. Like this, because I only had top half body still, so I was on my side. And he's like, "Oh, and here we have a homeless person. What are you doing today? How do you feel today?" And Walks just comes up like, drags him aside, and I just slowly get up. And I thought it was funny. I just thought it was funny. Just the perfect wrong person to do that joke with, and you wouldn't expect that in VR anyway. It's like no. She's going through. It's like no, it's fine. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. Anyway, anecdote aside. So around that time, when there was a little bit of an interest in Ruby, we had a Ruby Rose fan in the group who had a sort of crush on me. I only just discovered, turns out that person, I just discovered like within the past 2 years. It's like a year ago, I can't remember exactly when, doesn't matter exactly when. I discovered this person was actually a VRChat criminal of some sort. And maybe dating me would have, and getting in a relationship with me would have been some kind of way to atone for that. Considering yeah. So anyways, let's not go there yet, but go into another detail. I pretty much gave up on the concept of getting myself involved with other people since roughly 2010. I don't exactly care about the exact time. That was I'd just given up then, and I'd broken off with a certain person that I met in Michigan when I was in Michigan. Oh boy. Someone who I used to love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and sharing Buffy with that girl, I did that. I came back to England for that. Then I go back to Michigan, and turns out somehow sharing Buffy the Vampire Slayer with this stupid little woman ended up being a case of, okay, now every single day she's going to play all the songs from the musical constantly on loop, start to finish, loop, start over. All of them, every day. And that's it. It's just the musical. Every day, every day, every day, every second of every day, constant Buffy musical. And I learned to hate Buffy the Vampire Slayer from then. I remember looking. I was at their family house, and I looked at her mother, and I'm like, I don't know what to do about this. What happened to her? Why is she like this? No, didn't really go anywhere. So anyway, after that relationship wasn't gonna go anywhere, and I realized that, she's clearly getting more attached to people she's meeting on Tumblr? Was it Tumblr? She was talking to people on constantly, and just it's like that combined with that, and then her like this, there was like an absence in her personality. Because I remember I'd been awake for 48 hours trying to get the flight to work, and I finally needed to sleep, and she just would not let me sleep. After 48 hours. It's all coming back now. I need to stop. But yeah, that broke off, and I wasn't ready to get anything else from anyone else for a long time. I just completely numbed myself up entirely. Except I'm probably a creature of hell, but forgive the irony of me becoming of me referring to that era of my life as the nun era. So I was like, all right, let's just start off easy. Maybe I'll get into a stupid long distance nonsense. Like, what's the worst that could really happen? So this Ruby fan, this very tired Ruby fan, okay, seemed kind of cute, and I was the Blake of the group at the time, and so we became the Ruby Blake couple, I guess, for a bit. But then the homelessness thing happened, and we kept in touch still while I was going through the hotel and the B&B, because they had internet connections. But when I finally got a place to actually live permanently again. I didn't have internet there. So I had to wait for a couple weeks to get it all installed eventually. And let's just rewind for a bit to a few words and just carry on another sentence. Just get the sentence out here and carry it on. Maybe this was this tired Ruby Rose fan's attempt at, like, what was the word I used again? Oh, jeez, what's the word? I've lost it again. Words are so difficult. Like, some kind of, not forgiveness, a thing that leads to forgiveness. whatever the word is. I used the word earlier. Maybe they're trying to become a better person than they were, and redeem. Maybe she was trying to redeem herself. The thing with me would have been a redemption arc. No, when I finally got my internet back, turned out she was cheating on me. She was cheating on me with a certain boat person. Yeah, I remember getting into the world and this guy's like, you should tell her. I don't like this. You should tell her. And she's like, oh, I don't wanna. Like, why would you want to do that? I don't want you to do that. I'm like, ugh. So eventually he just crumbled under pressure and he sent me this crazy schizo dump of all this stuff all these conversations they've been having and her confessing to him and stuff. And I was like, oh. And he's like, you two deserve to be together. I'm sorry. I don't want to get in the way. And I'm like, I can't. I can't do that. I'm breaking that off. I just this kind of this behavior. I can't do that. So I broke that off. And she kept lying straight through to the end. As I discovered the kind of VRChat criminal she was, and that she has that kind of problem with. Yeah, I'm not. Anyways, unfortunately, during the homeless arc, I managed to barely avoid bankruptcy, with the help of friends and stuff. Finger in your face guy actually contributed a little bit more than everyone else. He really, really, really didn't want bad things to happen to me, it seemed. So after having a lovely taste of drama and not regretting a bit of it, I'm like, alright, let's just see what happens with this long distance nonsense. Oh no, drama. Oh well, that's just what's gonna happen. I heard a lot, sure. But overall, it's like, yeah, okay. So then things go back to normal, and then I start playing my Samurai Kagaras and my Neptunias and my orange juice, and still getting back in VR. Getting drunk on the weekends, being stupid, causing problems, and let's see. When it comes to Samurai Kagura, I like the characters. I know that's like right next to saying just like people who like watching ecchi for the plot. Plot of Samurai Kagura isn't really that great, and they never got to finish it. Feels bad, man. SK7 when? But I like the characters. I do. Favorite characters: Yobi and does that work? Fiona-chan. Of course. These are my favorite two characters. Anyone who actually knows me will understand perfectly why these two characters are my favorite. So anyways. Go back to Vyobi. So yeah. Finger in your face guy ended up getting into Senran Kagura as well by adjacency to me and became the Fiona of the group, the other character, but would generally yeah, so then I would be in this avatar, he would be in the Fiona avatar. He'd get in VRChat and occasionally I'd just beat the shit out of him. Just because that was fun for that was our friendship. That was our friendship. And it was glorious. So when I was in high school, just to clarify so people can finally get it, there was a little phase where some people in my group were just starting to slap each other. we were just all slapping the fuck out of each other, okay? Just slap. And so of course I got in on that. And one day I did an unprovoked slap with a backhand on someone who was in on all that stuff. My knuckle collided perfectly with his cheekbone. And I remember him being a little bit upset. I was sorry. But I think something changed in me that day. Anyways, so let's go back to the conversation that I'm trying to have about my life in VRChat. So I'm the Ryobi, he was the Yona, and he get in VRChat, we get drunk, we cause lots of problems together, being real cringe and embarrassing. He'd misbehave, I'd wrangle him in. And what do you know, he ends up getting attracted to me as well now. Like, you could have seen this coming like a mile away, right? This guy who's into yanderes and becomes the owner to the Ryobi. Yeah. Thing is, he started off as a mute, and for some reason, because of me, he eventually got the courage to actually start talking as well. I don't know what, I sometimes kind of regret that a little bit because he was annoying. There's a lot of people in this world who would be much better off learning to shut the fuck up. I live above those people. Anyways, they're my neighbors. Anyways, so yeah, that was interesting. So, you know what? Why not try a heterosexual relationship again? I tried one when I only had one long distance one when I was like 18 or 19 with this guy in Florida who was very egotistical. I'll refer to him as the blazing ego. In Naples, Florida. Oh boy. Yeah, he was a mistake, but yeah. So I was like, let's try this again. Let's try it's round 2 now of trying to get back into the game by doing things nice and gently into long distance nonsense where it doesn't fully matter. It's not real life. Even if the attachments are real, it's not all the way there. And it's a lot of comfort as well, because I really don't like having people around me. I don't like touching people. I don't like people touching me. So VR has actually been really great for socializing because of that. I can be near someone, I can touch their avatar, but I'm not actually touching them. I can let them touch me. They're not actually touching me. It's great. They can touch me ethereally. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. I can let people... You can connect with people without having to touch our disgusting, gross bodies at all. You're disgusting. Don't touch me. You understand? That's one of the glories of VRChat. So. I need to T-pose again. My legs are going weird. I've been moving around so much that my trackers are kind of spinning around. Yeah, it's a little better. Okay. Get T-pose for dominance. So, yeah. Where was I? So, meanwhile, something is happening, fragmenting the friend group a little bit, and I think that a certain person is responsible for it. So then I explode on that certain person, even though she did nothing wrong. And this is gonna be a problem for me later in guilt-wise, because of how apparently that affected her a lot at the worst time. One of the worst times of her life. I hope she's okay still, because she was okay last time. The very last time I checked, before going full no contact. For her own good. Probably best for her that we never speak again. So yeah, drama, of course, eventually is gonna happen on the internet. Stupid shit. With, especially when a, cluster B, borderline hello, is involved. I'm gonna start some fucking social fires and tear everything apart. Because, oh my goodness, I feel so insecure. Whoa, kind of thing. Unfortunately, the things didn't turn out so bad for her after all, and I still had other friend groups to hang around as well while everything was fragmenting over there. So then we continued every weekend, get a little bit drunk, get a little bit stupid, have some fun, hang out with people. Yeah, good times. Good times. Even actually eventually organizing a... I don't play video games with people. I'm a very solo person. I eventually even got convinced to play Divinity Original Sin 2 with a few people. And finger in your face guy. Oh. Oh boy. Let's see, how far have I been going anyway? Let's see, what's the timer? 38 minutes, huh? Okay. So then I also started noticing through a sinister person, of a sinister creature of sorts, that became a friend. Oh, my throat. Ah. Oh, jeez. Oh, that's not right. Well, sorry, that was gross. Oh, jeez. I just started randomly choking out of nowhere. It's not like there's, anyways. Oh, anyways. So, one of my old autistic hyperfixations that had just been just left behind when I left my teenage years behind. Some point in my early 20s, I'd stopped having any interest in the related subject, and so I stopped pursuing. There was no real reason to keep pursuing the observations I had. My interests in the behaviors of others at the time of a certain type. There was certain types of people in VRChat that fascinated me. Absolutely fascinated me with their behaviors. And to really explain it, now that we're over 40 minutes into the video, we should be by now, everyone is probably clicked off and nobody's watching this part. So I'm going to explain a certain hyperfixation I picked up. I'm not going to talk about, I don't think I'm going to talk about any of the other related things that have happened to me at that age. But this certainly was, this is a very much lighter thing, but it certainly has probably influenced the way my brain was wired. So with everything that I was seeing when I was, before when I was a preteen, with everything I was seeing from the adults and what I was being exposed to, I was confused and curious about what the hell this is. So a cousin of mine, one day, an older cousin of mine, he goes into my stepfather's room while the adults are gone. He goes and finds his tape VHS collection, puts one in, calls me into the room, and he says, "Look, this is what that is," while he's jerking it. And I just walk around the bed and I just look at the TV like, huh? I'm not I wasn't even a teenager at the time. I was younger. Like, what? I didn't know I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know what I was looking at. And the poor naive people would think, oh, that would just be boring, wouldn't it? No. I was like, whoa, what, huh? I suddenly had to learn more. So, my stepfather was terrible. He had a massive collection. I started going through his tapes, okay? He had his magazines. I would read the magazines. And eventually during high school, I even started taking a magazine with me, putting it in my school bag, and taking that with me to school just because I could. And then I'd sneak it back home just to like a kind of thing. And on the school bus, I'd like sometimes pull it out, the magazine out, and read it. And I remember like sometimes a friend would look at it and we'd see the things that people write. We were actually reading the articles. We'd see the things people write and send in there, okay? And it's just the way people behave, the way people talk, the things they say are hilarious. They're absolutely hilarious. There's one line that I still remember for some reason that we laughed out. The phrase was anointed like a goddess, and I just thought that was so. Unfortunately, I also ended up developing a porn addiction for a bit during my teenage years, but then I grew out of it. So I managed to grow out of it, and everything died down around my early 20s, thankfully. But otherwise, mainly the hyperfixation is on observing people being humiliating shameful, pathetic, stupid. It's hilarious. One of the reasons why I don't have any real reservations about doing this kind of thing is because I know what I've also had enough people tell me things that they would never tell anyone else. And so many people have talked about so many things. I've learned so much about what goes on in our heads that is so embarrassing and so disgusting that I just can't be embarrassed about anything I say or do at this point, because I just can't. Not to mention I've always been generally immune to being embarrassed. Like if I had a crush in school, I just go tell the crush eventually, get rejected, go back to my life. If I need to say something, need to do something, I can just do it. Not to be confused with embarrassment, not to be confused with my self-hatred, where I want to erase everything about myself everywhere. That's not embarrassment. I just hate myself and I want to delete every trace of myself off of everywhere sometimes. Some points in my life, I just seem to do that. It just happens sometimes. That's different. There's absolutely no embarrassment though. Anyways, so with that out the way, with me explaining that, people in VRChat behaving in very, very interesting ways. I just love to just join the world with the sinister person. I won't say the name of. I get drunk and I just be watching everyone just be dumb and horny. That was a lot of my life in VRChat, and fingers in your face guy would even follow me into the world sometimes, and a lot of the time he wouldn't get it, I guess. But he eventually just started laughing at people being like about how what was the word? Did we have a word? No, he just laughed at people for being perverts. That's, yeah. It's like, and that was a lot of my life in VRChat as well. One of the reasons I've decided I need to make this kind of thing right now is because a few years ago my grip on reality's been getting looser and looser, so I started needing to document things. I have a whole lot of stuff written out, going through things that I was also feeling a kind of mortal kind of urgency as well. I don't feel like that right now, but in the case I do worry about that, I have everything ready so I can just drop everything more than I need to drop and talk about things that I want to talk about. Just so there's records of it, whether I can stay as me or not. So anyways, Fingers in Your Face guy and I actually ended up being a pretty decent, stable couple until meeting IRL, or then the case is just because I don't want to do things with women doesn't mean that I want to do things with men. Men are just even worse. At least women I can find cute and comfortable to be around. Men I just get in person, I just kind of feel disgusted. I just feel repulsed. I can't explain it exactly. So, in meeting in person, I discovered that we weren't really going to be a good thing to keep going forward with. But he did love me. I know he definitely did. I had to make sure that I had to ban him from proposing to me during the visit, because I knew he would. If he got the chance, he would have just done it then. Like, we haven't even met yet. Don't even go to that part yet. So I had to just like, no, don't do that. Just don't. We're just gonna meet and, you know. I was his ideal, and he was aware, and it tore him apart, that he wasn't my ideal. So could have kept going if I wanted to. Eventually move to Canada, get married, have some kind of stability, another person to rely on consistently. Someone I'm not really comfortable with in person after all, and who is able to see and tear him apart. So I had to find a way to get us to break up. Very, very attached kind of person he is. It's kind of difficult, really, because as a yandere appreciator, he was honestly kind of a little bit yandere himself. He had problems some days. But before we get to that, I'm going to go back to the other stuff. So when he and I actually got together, this is actually a good segue of one of the things that were a problem for me. It's really hard to understand why it's a problem, but it was a problem. The moment I finally like agreed, like, you know what? I thought I loved him, and I know he loved me. And so we got together. The whole thing we had that was kind of comfortable kind of changed very almost immediately. In getting into VRChat, his behavior changed, where he would just be he'd just be on his knees next to me like a dog, like just right here, just and then he'd be like this, like, and I'm looking at this and I'm just like, no, this does not please me. I feel kind of disgusted. How can I be with someone that I can't respect? This is disgusting to me. Don't do that. I don't want you to be a completely leashed up thing to me. I want you to run free, as my attempt to explain it to him. I want you to run free off the leash. Jeez. Yeah, that's the thing. As much as the way I feel about certain things, if people don't have restraint, don't have shame, then I get disgusted. What the hell are you doing? This is disgusting. Do you not realize how humiliating you're behaving right now? Do you understand? Do you get it? Stop that. Kind of thing. It real sucks that my personality type would attract brats. I hate dealing with brats. I am not a brat tamer. I was a brat magnet, but I am not a brat tamer, and I'm not interested in dealing with this shit. Oh, sorry, that's just a side rant. Okay. So yeah, that on top of everything else. On top of everything else, and boy, I'm not gonna get into the IRL things. That's not for here. Not talking about the that's not for a video. I can talk to people in private about that, but it's not for here. Any dissatisfactions there. So I had to figure out how to make it sure that we can break up successfully without him going into an obsessive spiral over me and wanting me back. I knew he had a fear of being used for money because I'm kind of a poor bitch, and he's kind of supported me in a few things, especially when doing the homeless arc, kind of like the prelude to everything. So it was a major worry for him. So one day I just tell him that he's just gonna become my financial bitch, and he's gonna pay me, and that was what. And I hope he was smart enough to understand what I was doing, because he played along with it, and we broke up. Either that, he was a complete fucking idiot and he actually believed me, because he's very stupid, he's very dumb. But we'd been together long enough, and he knew me enough that I think maybe he knew that I was trying to make him have no regrets about breaking up, because he saw the writing on the wall. We were going to break up after that visit. We were drifting apart. I hope he got it. Our mutual friend mentioned that he got over me really quickly. So, yeah. I successfully crafted a breakup. As best as you possibly can craft a breakup. Yeah. I am evil, by the way. I'm lawful evil. I just, you can tell me I know I'm a horrible person. Like, it's too late. I've been crafted into what I am. Anyways. So then after that, I made my decision and picked that of the two paths, major split in my life. Either end up going through that possibly guaranteed stable route and ending up in Canada, or becoming the chaotic mess and gambling on getting what I want, and the other person not feeling like they're not what I want, and it tearing them apart from the inside. Oh boy. I want a cat, not a dog. Cat's so much better, yeah. I'm a cat person, yes, sure. Cats and birds. Smart birds, specifically. Corvids and parrots. So, at this point, it's a mess. And also I find out the consequences of the drama I mentioned with someone on their very edge of their wits that I'd accused of things that weren't her fault in tearing the group apart. She wasn't responsible for that. That wasn't her. I found out from a mutual friend the exact outcome there. That, combined with how I felt what I may have done to Fingers in Your Face guy, started a cycle of self-hatred that's completely new. And it drove me into looking for... I'd start bouncing around friend groups and worlds to find harmful people who would be psychologically predatory to me. If that makes sense. I started developing this kind of need that I'm a horrible, disgusting, terrible person, and I need to make sure karma gets me. I'm not gonna dodge karma. I remember one day, when I got drunk, I stuck my head under the tap in the bath and I breathed in, and I was just mad that it didn't hurt enough. Just stuck with me as one of the attempts at penance. Lots of drinking from then on. Once, twice a week. Every weekend, I'd get my sleeping schedule, so I'd wake up around midnight for Friday night or Saturday nights. And so because I hated the fact that getting drunk would make you drowsy. So, big brain decides if I've just woken up, drinking won't make me drowsy, and I won't have to sleep while drunk, which is awful. Absolutely awful. Wow. And then I can just be drunk the whole day and be very self-destructive, and don't do that. But yeah. But also, then on the other side of things, I'm also trying to find some peace and comfort and getting into cuddle puddles and learning how, then going back to the head pats thing, I didn't have phantom sense at all. Because my mind is very stubborn, resistant kind of mind. So I thought about it for a while. And I thought, what if I just give in to the reality of what's going on in here? Just tell my brain to just accept this. Doesn't matter if you're not actually being touched or anything. And eventually, I can even give myself head pats to a degree. It's kind of interesting, but eventually I developed phantom touch, so I got involved in cuddle puddles, head pats, head pat chains. I could make a tower of people giving head pats to each other, just all vibing out and just giving head pats. Just like, well, just listening to whatever music you want, or people just staring at the mirror, just saying stupid crap to each other and just talking about whatever that was on our minds. Pretty nice. I remember, also another thing that I wanted to do as well. I only had top body for a while, and I remember seeing some people when they'd be listening to music, and because they were nice, they wouldn't be blasting it to the world to everyone else. They'd just be listening to it with themselves. Very nice. That's good behavior. That's good etiquette. And they'd have full body, and they'd just be going crazy, and their legs would be doing like the full-on Irish jig kind of thing. It was crazy to see that, and I just saw, well, they're just having so much fun. You know what? Maybe. And I wish I had full body, then I could just dance like an idiot too. Wouldn't that be great? And a friend of mine at the time, Joker, actually was kind enough. Yeah, from the cuddle puddle side of my life, the nice side of things, Joker was in there somewhere. I haven't spoken to him in a long time because he'd be hanging around in public worlds and my PC couldn't handle it, so I eventually just stopped because I just like, my frames. My PC couldn't handle it. Joe was nice, and he helped me get full body, just so I can be dumb and just start dancing. And I remember that's when I uploaded that video. Yes. As you know, with the things I was aware of with what people do, I was like, oh, we can do a little meme. So I got my shaky avatar out, right? I calibrate again. Let me T-pose you on you. T-pose with shaky. And what happens when you get full body in VRChat? What do you do? Then I do Orange Justice. Wait, no, hold on. I've got to do it right. There we go. Then I just started doing Orange Justice. And that was another thing I uploaded a long time ago on the other channel. And I'm still proud of it. I think it still exists, but it's unlisted. Or completely private. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, this is my shaky avatar. She's shaky from back then. Ah. Yeah. Right. Let's switch back to another avatar. Or before it. Yeah. Where did I go? Let's switch back to another avatar. Whoa! Whoops, not this one. Ah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got an eldritch being in my eye. Don't worry about it. Yeah. And it's around anyway, so also this part is a mess because I haven't really thought this part of everything through too well. We've gone off the edge of everything I've planned out, everything I've connected together, so this part is just a complete mess of whatever comes out first. So anyways, yeah, another thing with getting to just watch people be like that and just think, wow. Wow. Wow, that's cringe. That shit cringe. What are you doing? Someone ended up inviting me to a certain market server. Well, I got to see people behaving very embarrassing in text. Like there's certain things that just completely. It's not too bad most of the time, but when I like see like after seeing all the humiliating ways people behaved back then when I was growing up, and then nowadays I'm just seeing people unironically using the words daddy and mommy in those ways. I'm just like, oh, this is cringe. And it's just, okay. I guess you got to. Yeah. The thing is, finger in your face, guys, is a thing that's only ever going to happen once. I'm never going to really be able to have anyone who just let me slap him around ever again. Especially because a lot of the time, the types of people who are like that are too much to handle. Even that guy. I had some really annoying moments where he just go up to me and be like, give me beatings! And I'm like, no. Give me beatings! Like, oh my goodness. It's like, this does not do anything for me! Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Just shut up. God damn it. You satisfied now? It's one of the reasons why I can't stand thirst. Unmitigated thirst. People want it too much. It annoys me so much. It's one of the reasons why I absolutely can't stand the goon-pocalypse. The whole concept of shame, restraint is all gone. It's just slop. It's all quantity, no quality. Just an endless deluge of absolute bottom-feeding trash that absolutely gave up everything. just the world needs shame. That's my villain arc. The world needs shame. It needs shame. It needs to learn when to stop. It needs to learn when to shut its mouth. That's my villain arc if I could have one. Anyways, where was I going? So yeah, that was an interesting server. That was an interesting server. Oh boy. And I got. Oh boy. But yeah, from now on it's mostly downhill. Constantly getting more and more. More and more. What is. More and more off the deep end into despair. Absolute despair. And self-destruction. Alcoholism. And appropriate for that era would be this avatar. I need to T-pose on you one more time, because after that, after swinging at the camera for a bit, I think I've like spun my trackers around on my feet. Ugh. There we go. Should be better now. You're too low. Get up here. Yeah. Yeah, I remember this era. I mostly just wallflowered. Just let myself become the butt of a lot of jokes as well for people. It's pretty good. I'm still friends with some of them. I still like the way they talk to me. Like a piece of trash sometimes in that server. The self-loathing never really ends. Some of the most interesting and hilarious nights, though, that I remember, I get into VRChat and there's so much beer pong. It's just ugh. Stop. I don't want to play beer pong. But sometimes I'd see people playing. Can I do a 3? 3-player beer pong. What does that mean? Back then, think about it. You got the 2 players, that's it. That's all there's room for on the table. They're just playing beer pong. What is the third person doing? The third person is controlling the other 2 players from... That was hilarious. Watching this person just mess with the players. Just messing. Just buzzing their asses to distract them. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That's 3-player beer pong, and it was hilarious. I love watching that shit. That was great. That was hilarious. Oh, I miss that. Also, with the full body thing, now that I can finally do actual dancing, I noticed there's like a little bit of a DJ scene just kind of blooming. At the time, the DJ I liked was It's Loomy. He's kind of disappeared off the radar most of the time, but sometimes he appears again. But yeah, some really good nights. Just going mental on the dance floor there. And from that friend group, hey Dusk, I'm probably gonna send this video to you. It's ever a big brother figure. You're at Dusk. through all my self-destructive nonsense, a friend was there for me, looking out for me, making sure I didn't go too far off the edge. As people would call him, Daddy Dead Cat. Daddy Dead Cat. Dusk, you're great. Thanks for everything. Feel free to talk to me more. Yeah. With self-destructiveness also going a long way down as well, I also actually eventually just committed hypocrisy. Since I'm single now, so just try this out. I spent a few months as a VR slut. Someone with my personality isn't exactly very good. All I have is body language. I don't have the talking language. The moment anytime someone wants to do the whole nonsense talking thingy where they kind of flirt, like, it just completely, like, my head's just like, what? What's going on? I don't know how to do this. Because, you know, I'm a partially verbal autist. Oh. I'll learn how, I'm not gonna go into that right now. But yeah. That was a real mess. That era. Especially when you're not really into it that much yourself. Like, you have to find some really patient people to deal with or get into some kind of like some kind of performance act thing to make it seem like you're enjoying it more. Also, well, to be honest, the motivation for that was that I was searching for lightning in a bottle. I found a person who was a person who we have trouble getting along anytime that I'm not single because our entire thing doesn't work anymore. I just internally just withdraw because I don't want to get him. Because I feel too, I don't know. And she's open poly kind of person, so she doesn't get that. Our friendship is gone. Couldn't even stay friends because I don't know. Couldn't get our shit together to just. But yeah, talking about types of people who are too much trouble in their worth as well. That's kind of gonna happen. We can't just get along. We can't just be friends. I'm gonna be causing shit, or she's gonna be absolutely obtuse, and yeah, it's kind of. I remember one time when we there were still some other people around. People started panicking about the way I was talking to her at one point, and they're like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" I'm like, and, this is why you take things into private, even if it's just, even if it's just, even if it doesn't go, even if it's not going that far. uh, you'll get attention. You'll get all this attention that you don't need. Oh my goodness, I'm remembering all this stuff. The next time I tried to, next time someone else happened who might have been lining in a bottle, that was a borderline mess, recovering from a 7-year abusive relationship and having major problems that she does not need me exacerbating by giving into that, on being that for her. So that wasn't really gonna work. you can't you can't do that. So anyways, now do you understand what I mean when I say that I relate to Bezier just a little bit? That was pretty much, that's pretty much it. I should probably also mention that there was a doggo of a nihilistic philosophy that was a really good friend until I met a manipulative piece of garbage who tore us apart, and we've never been able to be friends again since then. There's so much drama and regret. But I hear that he's an asshole nowadays anyway. Where am I going now? And then so let's go back to the previous lightning in a bottle person. The terrible old lady in Florida. I think, yeah, she's actually just a little bit older than me. Just a little bit older than me. So yeah, she qualifies as old lady for sure. She got me into PSO2 because she wanted more friends to play with her there. She wanted me, her friend, to join her there. But I had so little to focus on. I was such a mess that I just developed kind of an obsession with it eventually, and I just focused on grinding through it and getting better, and I ended up in the PSO2 Discord and just joining a friend circle there and trying to eventually get good with Ranger, then getting really toxic with Hero, and the reason I got into PSO2 was because I became a VR slut, and another VR slut wanted me to join it too. That's what happened. Then I quit VRChat basically to just get addicted to PSO2. That's what happened. And I haven't really been the same since. I miss a lot of friends. There's barely anyone left. I destroyed so much of it. Hmm. Well, that's recorded now, so there's a record of it. I occasionally went back to VRChat. I met my ex there, who it turned out when we met in real life was disgusting. Refer to her as the stank master. At least 4 different terrible odors. Distinct. Turned out she was gross. Even right after a bath, still stank. Just naturally. And so with that one, all of my interest, physical contact, completely died again. I am cured from being a slut. Again. Back to nun mode. Someone was watching me record this and they just like did a germ emote. Freaking bacteria emote. Yeah, that bitch probably had something growing in her scalp. Like, oh my goodness. Wash with soap, please. Deep clean. Yeah, after that, I don't want anyone near me ever again. It kind of sucks. So the few times that my current partner has been able to hug me is probably a treat. Just hugging alone, huh? Just hugging already pushes it. At least she knows how to hug. She doesn't crush me. She's actually gentle with it. They're actually nice hugs. They're nice. They're comfortable. I can be around that person. How she puts up with all my dissociative nonsense and this cringe embarrassment stuff I upload, I don't know. Thanks. I appreciate it. Kind of weird though. It's kind of weird though that you're okay with this, but okay, I'm not gonna complain. Ah, jeez. Hmm. Da, 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 ba, ba, ba. Let's end the video on a positive. Thank you for watching. If you actually watched this whole thing, that's like almost 2 hours, I think. First take, I guess. We got somewhere. I got all the stuff said. Well, while I'm still here enough to say it. I didn't need to drink to do this. All I've had is coffee today. Local alcoholic resists the drink. I just don't have any, that's all. I need to go buy some more. That was a joke, or was it? Well, I'm having fun making mods for Streets of Rage Remake apparently now still. Apparently I'm able to enjoy that again. get back to some Zan stories soon. There'll be another thing soon, probably, I think. Will it be Vector's channel? Will it be my channel? Do the next preview. Yeah. And my Twitch would I'm probably gonna do Little Lady Two Shoes, another playthrough again. We need to romance Rose and Marine again. Breast girl. Okay. Yeah. And I'm probably gonna do a regular thing with Hal Maiden for at least a bit. I don't know. Anyway. God, I'm moving around like an idiot. My headset's loose. My hip tracker is loose. Oh, this is great. Let me turn the music a little bit more. Cable. Cable is... Oh, don't trip up. Don't trip up. Oh, I grabbed the screen. Nope. Relax. I usually mute myself when I do dancing in VR. I can't reach the mute from here for the recording though. So I deal with the weird breathing shit. Old lady who doesn't do enough exercise anymore. I can turn the thing up to mask my breathing. Oh, it's over. Take care of yourself.